Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to be going over your unit assessment or your evaluación for Unit 9. I'm going to go through all of the details just like usual with this assessment. If you have any questions, as always, you know to contact me. I'm happy to answer anything that you should have. So let's get started. Here we're in our Unit 9 folder for Español 3. Go into your evaluación folder as always. That's where you always find everything that you need for your unit assessment. Just gonna take a second here to open. Then when you go in there, you're gonna see several things. Well, first, you'll be able to see this video, which will be right up here on top. Next, you're gonna see your rubric. So in class, when typically I hand you out your paper copy of your evaluación that we go over, that is this document right here. It's got all of the details that you need. In addition, it also has your rubric for this assessment. As always, I suggest with your rubrics that you look them over, especially right before you submit, to make sure that you have everything that's needed so you can obviously score the best score possible. All right, next then, you're going to see the document I'm going to open, and finally, you are going to see the listening portion, which we will talk about here in just a second. So then transfer over right away to that document. Just giving it a quick second here to load. Google is taking its sweet time here. Sorry about this. I always have it loaded and then I flip from one tab to the next, and then it never stays open the way that I had it. Not quite sure why. All right, so then unit assessment 9 is out Eval, which is your grammar for this unit, the present subjunctive. This unit assessment, we are going to be working with the present subjunctive, and in doing so, we're focusing on 5 of our standards. This unit assessment has 2 parts. I'm actually going to change this. Has 2 parts, and we'll be focusing on 5 of your standards in listening, interpersonal communication, reading, writing, and grammar. All right, so for part one, you will need that listening recording that I just showed you in your evaluación folder. Part one is listen and dictate. So you're going to listen to that story. And what you're going to be hearing are 20 total sentences. And these sentences are actually not interrelated. They're completely independent of themselves. But there are 20 total sentences. You're going to listen to that recording and you're going to dictate it, meaning just like you did in your Unit 8 evaluación, you're going to write what you're hearing word for word, letter for letter, accent for accent. Okay, so everything that you possibly will need will be in that recording. It does go in order. You will hear numbers in front of each one, so it will say número uno, and it will give you the sentence. And it will say número dos, and it will give you the sentence. So that's how you can hear your sentences. There are 20 total. Each one uses at least one present subjunctive verb, so make sure you're conjugating those verbs correctly. Do not forget that these are sentences. They must start with capital letters and end with punctuation. Also, don't forget your accent marks and your spelling. That is part one. Okay, so you're going to fill all these in. Remember, the best way to do it is just to either highlight the lines or double click on the lines and then start typing. Please make sure you keep the colors. That helps me when I'm assessing. So that's part one. Part two, then, you're then going to read those sentences. Now, with this, if you need to do a written translation in order to fully understand what they're saying, that is 100% fine, but I am not looking for, nor will I be assessing, a written translation. You need to read those sentences so you can understand what they are saying. Then you're going to answer the questions provided in a complete sentence written in Spanish. Okay, super important that you make sure that it is written in Spanish. Make sure that you are looking at the sentences themselves in the story. Those will help you when you're answering your question. All of your answers should be written in the present subjunctive. So I fully understand that in the case of actual sentence writing, Many of your responses would not need to be in the present subjunctive, but for the purposes of you showing me that you know how to conjugate verbs in the present subjunctive, I need you to please write all of the verbs in all of your sentences that you are conjugating in that present subjunctive tense. Again, that's to show me that you understand how to conjugate those verbs. So you're going to answer the questions down here. The questions do go in the same order as the sentences up above. Make sure that you're doing complete sentences. So as always, capital letters, punctuation, spelling, accent marks. Okay, for this unit assessment, there is no rough draft. Please make sure when you're doing your dictations that you're really listening closely to make sure that the words that you're writing match the words that you're putting in here. Because if you don't and your dictation is wrong, then it may end up leading you to some incorrect answers down here at the bottom as well. Okay, so really take your time. You can listen to that recording as many times as you need to. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. If not, that is your unit assessment. Buena suerte, good luck.